Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Well, it wasn't an immediate decision. It took some thought, some time to work through the fact that one of my best friends was going to leave.
Right now on HHS In Depth. Heading into the first show of the year, we hear about Dr. Ginder's transition from Homestead Principal to the Superintendent of our school district.
Plus, with Dr. Ginder's move over to the central office, his role opened. We find out more about new principal, Mrs. Summers, and what she's excited for this school year. Those stories and more straight ahead. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Cora Shaw.
And I'm Jenna Lane. And Cora, summer ended too early, but I think we're all glad to be back.
Yes, I'm glad to see everybody back in the building again.
To start the show today, we're joined by reporter Nada DeHook with a look at another coronavirus wave sweeping across the country.
And the questions being asked the most are regarding the rise of a new form of COVID, the Delta variant. So Nada, what should students and teachers know about this new variant?
Well, the first thing to know about the new variant is that it is twice as transmissible as the original virus. A variant in general is a subtype of a virus that has mutated, making it different from the original disease. Although not as well known, there are 4 identified COVID-19 variants: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and the Delta variant. The Delta variant itself has been detected in at least 98 countries since it was first discovered in India. In the US alone, the Delta variant is now the dominant strain on citizens, as it accounts for 80% of all COVID cases as of July 22nd. While the symptoms are mainly similar to the original virus, doctors have been seeing a higher prevalence of patients having a runny nose or sneezing. Additionally, the Delta variant has a higher chance of leading to hospitalization than COVID did. But so far, according to Mayo Clinic, current vaccines have shown effectiveness in protecting against, or at least minimizing the damage from the Delta infection. And the vast majority of inflammations and hospitalizations are among the unvaccinated. The U.S. has already made a lot of progress since the start of the pandemic, and for this reason, it is encouraged that everyone of age get both doses of the vaccine to protect themselves and others from the further spread of the virus.
All right, Nada, thank you for the report. Some big changes in the leadership roles of our district in school took place over summer break. None bigger than former Principal Dr. Ginder switching buildings and becoming the school district's new superintendent. HHS In Depth reporter Nisha Lalaria starts our show today by catching up with our former principal and finding out how his new position as leader of the school district is going.
Along with the new high school principal, SACS saw a new change in leadership district-wide. Former Homestead Principal Dr. Park Ginder has taken on a new position in the district, and with that comes a whole other plate of challenges.
Well, I think the biggest issue that we've had to deal with, obviously, is COVID. That's been an interesting come and go change. Kind of think we know what we're going to do in June. It changes a little bit in July, then it changed a lot in July. That has taken so much time that I'm not sure I've gotten my feet on the ground with the things that normally would have happened.
With COVID protocols under control, there are still other issues within the district to take care of.
We've got to look at continuing building projects, purchasing property, thinking about size of our elementary schools and the number of kids that are coming in. And then, of course, our referendum that will be up for vote a year from now. Those 2 things are probably the biggest things that you'll see in our corporation. And that, as well as supporting all of our principals and building level leaders, our teachers.
While he is happy in his new position, Dr. Ginder still has a special place for Homestead in his heart.
I'm going to miss the students. It's always been important to me to know kids and know them by name. It's always fun coming into the building this year. I've only been here 3 or 4 times, but each time I've run into students who want to talk. That's going to be the biggest miss. But they'll be replaced by new relationships at the elementary level, new relationships at the middle schools. But obviously, missing our students at the high school will be difficult for me.
Dr. Ginder says the advice he received from his peers, along with his many years as an educator, is the reason for where he's at today. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Nisha Lalaria.
Thank you, Nisha. Well, with Dr. Ginder leaving Homestead, that left his principal position open, and we found out last month that former assistant principal, Mrs. Summers, was hired. To learn more about that transition and to see how her first week as Homestead principal went, here's HHS In Depth reporter Carly Flanagan.
Last summer, Homestead's former principal, Dr. Ginder, became the new superintendent of Southwest Allen County Schools. With this major change, Mrs. Summers gladly stepped up to be Homestead's new principal.
I loved teaching, and I loved being an economics and a history teacher, and I loved working with students. But I didn't really think about it in terms of myself becoming principal, which may seem odd, but it was more about keeping the team together. I felt like Homestead had been through a lot last year, and that if we could just stay together and build on all of the great programs and things that Dr. Ginder has done for Homestead. So I think that probably was the main inspiration that I had for pursuing this.
Having the ability to work with familiar faces alongside a well-rounded staff, Mrs. Summers is excited to follow along with the process of Homestead's transformation.
We knew we were going to have a lot of challenges with parking, with getting onto campus. Because there are really only 2 main entrances in and out now, that's 3,000 people we're trying to move in and out, twice a day. So that part didn't surprise me. The fact that we were going to have a really bad thunderstorm with high winds that needed us to get away from windows, definitely didn't anticipate that. All of that was surprising, but it was also great just to see how everybody just rolled with it.
Along with Homestead's major changes, as well as the challenge of being a high school student, Mrs. Summers encourages Spartans to make the best of the opportunities that they're given.
I think my advice is just, school is the one thing you have control over. When times are crazy, when you enter the building, now it is just you. So focus on your classwork. Do the best possible job you can on your academics. Be a kind and genuine person. And then go to bed at night knowing that you're really proud of who you were today. Those things you have control of. And those things will take you far in life and even just give you peace in general because you've done the right thing.
From being a born and bred Hoosier to becoming a Homestead mom, teacher, and administrator, Mrs. Summers is more than prepared for any challenge that may come her way. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Carly Flanagan.
If you're planning on going to the football game tonight in Northrop, you're going to love the weather that's in store. I'll be back with a check of the weekend forecast in a few.
You are watching HHS In Depth with Jenna Lane and Cora Shaw.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth. These days, Homestead senior Sarah Faley is healthy and thriving, and she's excited to start another school year.
But a year ago, that was not the case. Just 2 days after getting her license, Sarah had an experience that was not at all expected, but it was definitely life-changing.
At the end of the summer, right in the beginning of the school year, it was just after the second week, my mom asks me, "Hey, where'd you get that sweatshirt?" The sweatshirt I had just gotten from work that morning. But I said, I don't know. All I knew was I was starting to feel super nauseous, and my mind was just going completely blank on what was going on. And all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I went into a grand mal seizure where I completely fell to the floor and I stopped breathing.
Sarah was rushed to the hospital and later life-flighted to Riley. The next few days for Sarah were spent doing testing, where they found a collection of small blood vessels called a cavernous malformation in her brain. To allow for healing time, Sarah's doctor scheduled her surgery for about a month later. The chances of Sarah having issues leading up to the surgery were extremely rare.
We happened to go the night before the surgery. We go back to the hotel, and all of a sudden, this side of my head starts to hurt like crazy. And I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I've got a really bad headache right now."
Sarah's mom made the decision to bring her to the hospital that night. She was rushed into emergency surgery after her doctor noticed Sarah's dilated pupil was fixed, signifying the severity of her situation.
I had 45 minutes until I was gonna die. I remember that moment, but at the same time, I only have little screenshots in my mind of what was actually happening.
7 hours later, Sarah was out of emergency surgery. After a few days of rest, she was able to wake up and talk in no time.
The biggest blessing was just being able to heal so quickly, because just after a week after the surgery, I was able to finally go back home.
And now, a year later, Sarah's MRI scans came back clean, and she's able to get back to doing the things that she loves, like playing softball, working, and being with friends.
Such a great story. Thank you, Cora. Anthus students, this is a reminder that if you ride the afternoon Anthus bus, you are to eat a lunch and then wait for your bus at door 26 for departure. You are not to be walking around the school while waiting for the bus.
Due to construction, the Math Resource Room is located in the Media Center for today.
Homestead's Food Rescue is back. During your lunch, if you have any items such as whole fresh fruit, unopened prepackaged items, or unopened bottled beverages, please place them in the bin in the cafeteria. These items will be donated to the rescue mission each day.
Do you like to travel? Are you interested in exploring our planet? If so, Homestead's travel department has some exciting travel opportunities for you. If you are interested in traveling to Iceland or Italy in the summer of 2022, please see Mrs. B in room 208 for more information. There will also be a meeting for those interested in traveling to Japan in the summer of 2023 soon. Be on the lookout for an announcement. All Homestead students are eligible for any of these travel opportunities.
A couple of reminders for students who are enrolled in dual credit courses for this semester. First, students who are enrolled in classes this fall that have dual credit through IU, please be sure to check your email and let your teacher know if you've not yet received your registration emails from IU ACP. Also, for those of you who are enrolled in dual credit classes through PFW, the deadline to complete all steps to get registered is today. Finally, for those of you who have dual credit courses through Ivy Tech, the course selection form and the class registration has opened. Be sure to complete all 5 steps listed in the Ivy Tech module in your proper Class of Canvas course. Students are responsible for completing all steps to ensure they receive dual credit.
Here's a look at all of the clubs meeting over the next week. K-pop Club's call-out meeting is today after school in Miss Roberts' room, room 924. The meeting will end at 3:45. The Environmental Club's first meeting of 2021 is on Monday in Mrs. Merkling's room, room 206. The Wellness Club's call-out meeting will be on Monday, August 23rd in Mrs. Hoffman's room, room 105 after school until 3:15. Stop by if you are interested in learning more about healthy living. Audio Aficionados is back again this year. They will meet every Monday starting next week. Get out to room 600B, the radio and TV room, to listen to some influential and critically acclaimed music. Philosophy Club will meet next Tuesday, August 24th at 2:45 in room 706, Dr. Price's room. All are welcome to attend.
More clubs meeting next week. Invest in the Investment Club. Go to Mrs. Witt's room, room 119, after school next Tuesday, August 24th, for snacks and some questionable financial advice. Do you value the idea of service above self? Enjoy helping others? If so, plan to attend Interact Club's call-out meeting on Wednesday, August 25th at 2:45 in the community room. Do you like chicken nuggets? If so, get out to the Chicken Nugget Club's call-out meeting next Friday, August 27th, right after school in room 208. The meeting will last about 30 minutes. And finally, Young Progressives will meet next Friday, August 27th at 2:45 in room 618. All political viewpoints are welcome to attend the meeting. After everything that has taken place in the past year, everyone is looking forward to taking a few steps towards normalcy. I've taken a closer look at some of the recent changes at school and what this year has in store for us.
As school starts up again here at HHS, we've begun to steer away from the craziness of last year. Even though there are still some restrictions, SACS administration hopes to get a little more back to normal with a few simple adjustments.
As far as Homestead, most of what's new is just the increased construction all around us. So we're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to having a lot of opportunities for students to try out the new furniture for this new building that will house up to 3,000 students.
Our biggest goal for this year is to get things back to normal. We've added a few different lines this year. We've added a salad bar back. We've also added Mexican line and Italian line back. So adding these different options hopefully gets us a step in that direction.
Lower COVID numbers not only benefit the health of our community, but they also help bring advantages back into Homestead's classrooms.
It's been wonderful that we have everybody back in the building. It's also been great to see everybody's faces again. As I'm out visiting classrooms and in the hallway, there's just so much more positive energy in the building this year and a lot of great interactions. So I think that's probably the thing that I'm most happy about this year.
Students have their own views on the year as well, and there's plenty to look forward to. This year's schedule is filled to the brim with sporting events and activities, including Taste of the Arts, a 50th anniversary tailgate, homecoming week, semi, and many others.
As a freshman, I'm really excited for high school events and having less restrictions for COVID to be able to do more stuff.
I feel like this year will pan out kind of differently than usual because it's new having all students back in the building. No Zooming and just making friends that we didn't know last year or who were new to the district.
Things have started on the path back to normalcy, and we are all definitely hoping to keep it that way. Turning to weather now that we can go to football games again, what can we expect out there weather-wise?
Jacob Bashford joins us now to tell us about it.
That's right, Jenna and Cora. Football is back and full crowds are expected. Tonight will be absolutely perfect for anyone heading up to the Northrop game. Expect partly cloudy skies and 80 degrees at kickoff. Taking us into the weekend, things will be cooling down in the mid-60s overnight, and for tomorrow and Sunday, we will reach the mid-80s, but tomorrow has a chance for some scattered thunderstorms in the late afternoon. If you have any outdoor plans this weekend, Sunday may be your best option. I'll be back a little later to take a look at the 7-day outlook.
All right, thank you, Jacob.
Next in sports, the new school year means fall sports season is in full action. Caleb Wood is in next to break down the teams in action this past week.
Welcome back to the Locker Report. I'm Caleb Wood. The fall sports season is underway and many teams are already busy competing. Starting with the girls golf team, they have been in full swing since the beginning of August. The team finished second at the Zionsville Invite Saturday. Simone Senk led the Spartans with a 72. Maddie DeBeja shot 77. Cassie Ayers with 78. Scarlett Senk with 86. And Eliza Saul with 94. Good luck to them as they head over to the Warsaw Invite tomorrow. The boys and girls cross-country teams started off their season at the Snyder Hokum Karam Relay last Saturday. The pair of Ethan Bates and Addison Canablo placed third, followed by Chase Molden and Lauren Saddington in ninth place. The team finished third overall, and they will be in action tomorrow morning at the Huntington North Invitational. Next up, the volleyball team played against Bishop Luers at home Tuesday night and came away with a 3-1 victory. Stats from the game include Olivia Cron with 3 aces, Kendall Fry with 17 kills, Haley Biedenbach with 33 assists, Tess Herendine with 17 digs, and Leah Mummert with 2 blocks. They head up to Penn tomorrow morning. The girls soccer team opened up their season Tuesday with a shutout win against Belmont 5-0. Both Amelia White and Sydney Couch scored twice in the first half of the game. They are looking to prove their third-place preseason ranking by the ISCA and will continue by playing Valpo High School tonight. The boys soccer team is also in action tomorrow against Concord. And the boys tennis team begins their season tomorrow as they travel to West Lafayette for their first matchup. They go into the season trying to back up their state appearance last year. And finally, the football team heads up to face the Northrop Bruins tonight in their season opener. Get out and support them as well as all teams in action this weekend. You can follow the Locker Report on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date on Spartan athletics. For the Locker Report, I'm Caleb Wood. Jacob will have a final check of the weather when we come back.
Next week on HHS In Depth, reporter Nada DeHoop introduces new Homestead students and how their school year has gone so far. Learn more about them and their experience with this year on next week's episode.
The weather this weekend is looking good, with highs in the 80s, but watch out for a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. This trend continues into next week as well. Monday has a high of 84, Tuesday with a high of 83, and Wednesday has a high of 82. There is a small chance of isolated thunderstorms on Wednesday, so be mindful of that. After that, Thursday keeps up with the rest of the week with a high of 79. All in all, a pretty nice week weather-wise as the start of our second full week of school. Jenna and Cora, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jacob, and thank you for watching today.
Good luck to the football team as they kick off their season tonight at Northrop. Have a great weekend, Homestead, and we will see you back here again next week.